Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining us once again on Talkin' Fight for another episode of the Boxing News Today, courtesy of our friends at boxing247.com. Christian von Sponik's doing a great job of rounding up all the news and headlines fit to print. And we're going to start off today with a story out of Texas because we're often talking on Talking Fight about the up-and-comers. And here's a great place, Texas, where they've got a great tournament going on. Headlined, are you ready for this? Successful fourth day of the Big Belt Championship in Texas, USA. So the last coveted places to access the semifinals were contested at the Southern Junction facilities, that's in Irving, Texas, as part of the successful Big Belt Championships series. And there were plenty of fireworks. In an evocatively memorable match, Texas Benjamin the Hill Gurmant earned his ticket to the semifinal, recovering from 2 visits to the canvas in the first round to dig deep and get a TKO victory in the fourth round against Mexican Alan Rosas in the 140-pound division. In another thrilling 4-round bout, this time at 126 pounds, fellow Texan Joel Martinez made a spectacular debut by knocking out Mexican Brian Macias. Texan Angel Torito Gomez and Elgin Chandler drew 38-38, scored by 3 judges in another interesting duel at 140 pounds. In a 4-round heavyweight clash, Texan Gavin Todd Reyes scored his place by knocking out Puerto Rican Michael Colon. Also at heavyweight, Mexican Edgar Chato Ramirez defeated Texan Roberto Zavala Jr. by unanimous decision, 40-36 from the 3 judges, and obtained his place. And at 147 pounds, there were 2 bouts. Mexican Sergio Golden Salinas knocked out Texan Philip Espana Gibson in spectacular fashion, while Curtis Ellis Jr. defeated Puerto Rican Therese Montanes by technical knockout. At 118 pounds, Texan Jose Dinamita Acosta defeated Mexican Luis Matias. Good stuff going down. And if you want to see some excellent photos, just go along to boxing247.com, hit that story headline, and check out all the action in photo form to accompany that article. Elsewhere in America, on the weekend at the Patapsco Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, that would be on Saturday night. Let's pass Saturday night. Mission accomplished as Darren the Gift Cunningham, who's now 14-1 with 7 knockouts, won his comeback bout against Rob Diezel, who's now 14-9 with 4 knockouts, after suffering his first defeat as a professional back in August of this year. The 8-round co-main event took place at the Patapsco Arena in Baltimore this past Saturday, November 6th, as I said. And it was promoted by the Shabazz brothers. Says Cunningham, after my first professional loss, I had to refocus and go back to what made me a great fighter, which is my boxing ability. I knew if I stuck to using my boxing skills, I'd catch him with a punch he didn't see coming. After I landed that left hook, I knew he'd be taking punishment for the rest of the fight. Boxing and what you've done for me lately, sport, and I knew that by taking a loss, people would doubt me. I stuck to the basics and outboxed my opponent and proved any doubters wrong. Now it's time to get back to business. Good for Mr. Cunningham. Elsewhere, if you're down in Puerto Vallarta this week, you're going to catch World Boxing Council Super Flyweight Champion Lourdes Little Lulu Juarez, who's good and ready to make her second defense of the green and gold belt. Little Lulu won the WBC title a year ago, defeating tough former champion Guadalupe Martinez. 7 months later, Juarez made the first defense of her belt in a tough give-and-take battle against Diana Fernandez, and now she'll face Luz Elena Aguirre on Friday night, that's November 12th, at the International Convention Center in Puerto Vallarta. That's in Jalisco State. I'm very happy to fight for the first time in Puerto Vallarta, she says. I've never been here before, but I'm already looking forward to Friday the 12th to get me in the ring and give a great show. It'll be my second defense of the World Championship, and of course, I'm focusing on victory. Good stuff. So again, if you're down at Puerto Vallarta this weekend, check out the fights. Speaking of big fights coming up, more on the Terence Crawford and Sean Porter front, courtesy of content similar to the Golden Boy announcement of yesterday. ESPN's platforms will offer an extensive lineup of programming leading up to the highly anticipated showdown between WBO welterweight champion Terence Bud Crawford and his toughest test ever, former two-time world champion Showtime Shawn Porter. The event will stream exclusively on ESPN Plus, pay-per-view Saturday, November 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and is being presented by Top Rank and TGB Promotions. And the fight, by the way, is the first ever Top Rank ESPN Plus exclusive pay-per-view event. Anyway, kicking off 2 weeks worth of offerings is the two-part Blood, Sweat, and Tears Crawford versus Porter. Part 1 can be seen Wednesday, November 10th at 12:30 a.m. Part 2 of Blood, Sweat, and Tears Crawford versus Porter airs on ESPN 2 on Sunday, November 14th at 2:30 p.m. The original All Access series takes fans behind the scenes in the training camp of both fighters. Both parts will replay multiple times until fight night. On Thursday, the entire ESPN boxing analyst team, including Joe Tessitore, Bernardo Isuna, and Mark Kragel, along with former pound-for-pound king Andre Ward and former world champion Timothy Bradley, preview the welterweight blockbuster. State of Boxing, Crawford versus Porter preview special streams exclusively on ESPN Plus on Thursday, November 18th. In addition, the Get Ready for Crawford versus Porter ESPN Plus on-demand collection is now live on the ESPN app. And it's available through the day of the fight on web, mobile, and ESPN, wherever one can stream on-demand ESPN Plus content. It includes great historical fights for both Crawford and Porter. Good for them. The Crawford-Porter card from Michelob Ultra Arena at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas will begin 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, and will be preceded by the undercard at 7 p.m. on ESPN 2 and ESPN Plus, and an earlier undercard at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the ESPN app. Let's just have a quick look here and see if they have some information. A little bit of information on, if you go to boxing247.com, November 20th, Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter undercard, loaded with contenders and rising stars at the Michelob Ultra Arena on Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. We're going to see Esquiva Fafkoa, Patrice Volney, middleweight title eliminator, Janabak Amhalni versus Hassan Nadum, and Raymond Matriltala versus Stephen Ortiz, round out Top Rank pay-per-view broadcast. There you go. Elsewhere, I see Isaac Dogbo and Christopher Diaz featherweight showdown will be broadcast as well at 7 p.m. And there'll be plenty of fistic reinforcements on Saturday, November 20th at Michelob Ultra Arena at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Go to boxing247.com for more details. Jay Harris and Hector Gabriel Flores have been added to the MTK Fight Night in Cardiff over in the UK. A huge new main event has been added to this month's MTK Fight Night in Cardiff as Welsh star Jay Harris makes his return to the ring against Hector Gabriel Flores. The card is a co-promotion between MTK Global and Mo Pryor and takes place at the Vale Sports Arena on Friday, the 26th of November, and will now be broadcast in the USA on ESPN Plus in association with Top Rank and on IFL TV for the rest of the world. Former world title challenger Harris, who's now 18-2 with 9 knockouts, drops down to the light flyweight division for the fight as he goes in search of another crack at world honors in a new division. Standing in his way is unbeaten Flores, who's 18-0-4 with 9 knockouts, with the dangerous Mexican looking to build on his run of 10 straight victories. Elsewhere on this month's card, Jacob Robinson, who's 8-0 with 2 knockouts, and Angelo Dragon, who's 5-2, clash for the Welsh area featherweight title. Former British and Commonwealth champion Hakeem Ennis-Brown, who's 14-1 with 1 knockout, returns, while two-time Commonwealth Games medalist Sean McGoldrick, who's 11-1 with 3 knockouts, is back for his second fight in quick succession. On the undercard, heavyweight Miles Gordon, who's 2-0, makes his long-awaited comeback after nearly 5 years out. Plus, Ethan George will make his professional debut. Rashid Omar, Kyron Jones, 1-0, Mano Lee, who's 4-2 with 1 knockout, and Ben Crocker, 1-0, will all be on the bill too, and looks set to be another action-packed evening in Cardiff. Said MTK Global promoter Lee Eaton, "We're delighted to add this great fight between Jay Harris and Hector Gabriel Flores to our event in Cardiff this month. It was already stacked, and now this just made it even better. This new weight class will suit Jay massively, and we're hoping to have a title added to the fight as well, with likes of Jacob Robinson versus Angelo Dragon, Hakeem Ennis-Brown, Sean McGoldrick, and more, all in Action 2. It's a card not to be missed. Elsewhere, in some of an innovation of several sports, we see Kubrat Pulev is going up against Frank Mir as they headline the Triad Combat card on November 27th. This is new. Triller Fight Club has announced the full card for the highly anticipated debut of Triad Combat, set for Saturday, November 27th at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, and live on pay-per-view. For information on the matchups, just go to boxing247.com. But let me explain. Triad Combat is a revolutionary new combat team sport which incorporates boxing and MMA rules in an aggressive, fast-paced manner, with the fighters competing in a specially designed triangular ring over two-minute rounds featuring professional boxers competing against professional mixed martial arts fighters. The specific motto of leveling the playing field between the two sports, utilizing crossover gloves and withholding allowed, is meant to offer boxing and MMA fighters an even battleground where neither opponent has a greater advantage. Headlining Triad Combat is a 9-round heavyweight battle between two-time UFC heavyweight world champion Frank Mir out of Las Vegas and two-time heavyweight boxing world title challenger Kubrat the Cobra Pulev out of Bulgaria. Mir holds the records for the most finishes in UFC history at 13 and most wins by submission in the UFC heavyweight division and 8. Sporting a record of 28-2 with 14 knockouts, Pulev's only losses throughout his distinguished career have come in world title bouts to Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua. Elsewhere around the world, we see that Rhiannon Dixon, who has a bout coming up in Manchester at the AO Arena on the 18th of December, and that's going to be her matchroom debut, actually, on the Joseph Parker ParkerChisora card. And here are quotes from a press conference she had yesterday. "I can't wait. It was unfortunate what happened last time, but it's great to be on such an amazing card. It's a return back at the Manchester Arena, and I'm just excited to show people what I can do. Women's boxing is just getting bigger and bigger, and the more people like myself and Sandy are on these shows and putting on amazing performances, we're changing people's opinions of women's boxing. I'm just excited to where things are going and showing people what I can do on December 18th. Dixon will fight in a 4-round lightweight contest." And for the last, interesting. Last item of the day, 4-0 Vidal Riley signs exclusively to Boxer and Sky Sports Boxing. Cruiserweight prospect Vidal Riley, who's 4-0 with 2 knockouts, has signed an exclusive long-term promotional agreement with Boxer and Sky Sports Boxing. Another former Team GB member who represented Britain at the 2014 Nanjing Youth Olympics and still undefeated as a professional, Riley has an enormous following thanks to his second career as a digital content producer and social media influencer. Sound familiar? Between his YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram channels, over 2 million fans have followed Riley's journey from amateur standout to professional prospect, and will now watch him take his career to the next level on Sky Sports. Riley started boxing at the age of 6 and went 41-8 with 19 wins by knockout during an amateur career, which featured a European Junior silver medal and a win over Daniel Dubois, as well as the 2014 Youth Olympics appearance. He's also known as the trainer of YouTube sensation and super influencer KSI, having trained him for both of his bouts with Logan Paul, as well as his showdown with domestic rival Joe Weller. He says, "Been a long time, people, but I'm back. Pleased to announce that I've inked a deal with Boxer to fight exclusively on Sky Sports. Can't wait to lace up my gloves. Stay tuned for updates." Says Ben Shalom, founder and CEO of Boxer. "We're extremely excited to announce the signing of one of the most highly rated prospects in British boxing, and we're looking forward to being part of his incredible journey." The sky's the limit for Vidal. He has a huge following, an infectious personality, and most importantly, the ability to go to the top of the sport. Good for him. Well, boxing fans, it's all the news fit to print. Yeah, of course I'm reading off a script. You think I can memorize all this stuff? Thanks very much for joining me today on all the news fit to print on Boxing News Today here on Talkin' Fight. Please join us on the channel. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, especially Chinese Yoda. Shout out. See you tomorrow.